So I just got back from Tesla's Cyber Rodeo, which was basically just a huge party at their new factory in Texas. And so while I enjoy some of my footage from there, this factory is amazing. It is huge. It is gigantic. I cannot overstate just how big this place is. And yes, a lot of numbers have been thrown at us, but walking through it, it just seems to never end. And the wildest part about that is we didn't even walk the entire factory. We only walked a portion of it. And when we first walked in, there was just a lot of displays of different machines and parts of the car that were kind of showing us a blown up view of the car. The machines were operating on some sort of demo mode, kind of just showing the way that they work, going back and forth in a repetitive motion, but not actually doing their job at the time. It was pretty cool to me that the machines even had an option like this, that they could just kind of demo for us what they'd be doing day to day. As you walk through the factory, everything is extremely nice, extremely clean. Of course, it's all brand new, and it is packed in there. You have robots right up next to each other. The distance these robots are coming from other pieces of the factory are within inches, but they are so precise, it doesn't matter. They work so well that every piece of space is used up to the max. And what even adds to that impressiveness is as we moved further into the factory and you got past all the packed parts, especially as we got upstairs where all the Cybertruck, the new Roadster, the Tesla bot, all of those things were displayed, this part of the factory is still completely empty. Tesla has so much space to do so much work in this factory. It is mind-blowing. Now, I really hope a lot of this empty space is ready for Cybertruck. Let's get going. I'm so excited for Cybertruck. But one of the slightly disappointing parts of the night, although it was an extremely amazing time and I had so much fun, especially meeting you if I met you there. Hello again. That was so cool to see some of you. Was when Elon Musk got up on stage. It was a nice presentation and it was fun, but we didn't really learn much of anything. He talked about how Tesla is going to make so many vehicles. It's one of the highest volume plants in the world, and it all sounded really great. And then he said, let's deliver our first Model Ys from the Texas factory. And I was like, all right, here it is. We're going to hear about the 4680s. We're going to hear about whatever this car has got. And the cars drove across the stage, and that was pretty much it. He told us nothing. Well, I want to talk about some things I heard. Now, take a lot of salt with this because these have not been officially announced. Things could change, but it's very exciting because I think these are some new things. And this is what I wanted to share with you. So there are 4680 cells in the new Model Y, and I think we assumed that, although Tesla has not officially stated that these Model Y came with new 4680 cells. They did have some cutouts on display. We got to see the 4680 cells for the first time officially. We got to see a cutaway of a Model Y with some 4680s in there. So these Model Y do have 4680 cells. We do know these Model Y have 279 miles of range, thanks to Tesla Raj for just hopping into one of the cars and seeing in the menus that these are the all-wheel drive standard range Model Y, which leads me to, we are going to have 3 variations of the Model Y coming up. We're going to have the Model Y all-wheel drive. That's the new version. That's what it's being called for now, although it may be updated to Model Y standard all-wheel drive. Then of course we'll have the Model Y long-range all-wheel drive, which is the current long-range version. It will still come from Fremont. It'll still have the 2170 cells. It'll pretty much be the same. And then we'll have the Model Y performance all-wheel drive, which again is going to continue to come from Fremont, still have the 2170 cells. So really all we're getting with the 4680s as of now is going to be the Model Y all-wheel drive. That'll be the standard range. And that's because the volume production of the 4680s is still pretty low, and this way Tesla can make more cars by putting less cells into each car and still use their 4680s, get them out on the road, produce more cars while they continue to ramp up their 4680 cell production. In the meantime, they can master that and they can get ready for Cybertruck and everything else that's going to use 4680s, most likely the new Roadster, the Semi, everything like that. And Elon said all of that's going to kind of be starting up and then huge product production of all kinds of new things next year. So let's hope Tesla can stay with that timeline because that is all really exciting. Now, while I don't have any numbers for you, I did hear the charging curve on the new Model Y with 4680s is amazing. And that means that the car can stay at a higher charge rate, so say 250 kilowatts or 200 kilowatts for a longer time than the older cars can. This means faster charging times, less wait times, and this is due to the 4680s just being much easier to charge. They're tabless, so they create less heat. They can take more energy for a longer time without damaging the batteries. Now, current V3 superchargers are capped at 200 250 kilowatts, and you only really get that range when you're below about 10% or so. It doesn't last very long on current cars, but hopefully the new Model Ys will stay at that point longer. It seems that they will. And due to the voltage of current cars, the theoretical cap that we'll see when superchargers do get a bit faster is going to be around 300 kilowatts for the cars that we're driving now today. But some new faster charging speeds are coming. I've heard 350 kilowatts is coming, and up to 500 kilowatt supercharging is going to be coming with version 4 superchargers. Now, another interesting thing, this is totally wild and random, but it didn't sound like the quad motor Cybertruck was really all like set in stone, which totally makes sense because the Cybertruck itself at all isn't set in stone. We haven't even seen a production candidate yet. It's not like Tesla is making these in any kind of volume. They're still doing a lot of testing, but just from Elon's tweets of saying they're going to go quad motor and dual motor and kind of that's it to begin with, I don't know. I'm not so sure that that's really going to be the plan. I'm sure all of that is still up in the air. I'm sure Tesla doesn't even know exactly what they want to do yet. They're going to aim to start production and make the most Cybertrucks they can in the shortest amount of time, because demand for the Cybertruck is just so ridiculous. If they even get up to, say, a 250,000 run rate of Cybertrucks per year, it's going to take them years and years to meet that demand. At a 250,000 unit rate per year, they may never truly reach the demand of everybody that wants a Cybertruck, especially as they go on the road and more people actually see and experience them in person. You're going to have people who want them even more and put in new orders, and people will continue to order them. If the Cybertruck is really at such a competitive price point as Tesla had pointed out when they first revealed it, and if it's truly as capable as Tesla is saying, I think demand for the Cybertruck is only going to increase as more people learn about it. So we have to hope that Tesla gets their new, even bigger Giga presses for the Cybertruck and can start production on those soon. So after I entered the factory, I walked through and saw all kinds of robots doing a bunch of different jobs. Robots were taking things from the ceiling and bringing them to the floor, or vice versa, putting pieces of cars together. There were autonomous robots, these huge platforms that were moving different pieces of the car around. They could lift the car 10 feet into the air, lower it back down slowly. The structural battery pack with seats was being married up to the top of the car. Tesla makes everything in this factory. Elon Musk was saying raw materials come in one side and cars come out of the other. Tesla makes their seats, their glass, their batteries. It's just crazy. Next to everything is being made in this factory to put these cars together. And the most efficient vehicle factory in America last year was Fremont, making all of those Model 3s, Model Ys, and then a few Model S and Model X. This factory, when you compare it, as Elon Musk showed during the presentation, is just set up so much better than Fremont is set up. So imagine how many cars Tesla is going to be able to pump out of Gigafactory, Texas. It's just insane. Tesla also had an outdoor area where they had food, entertainment, places to sit. It was just a lot of fun, just a place to kind of hang out and talk to people and have a good time, along with being wowed by everything around. Then we got upstairs. This is where the stuff I was really excited about was, first of all, we saw the prototype Model S, Model X, Model 3. The prototype Model X actually had cameras for the rear view or the side view mirrors, which was really cool to see, and I wish we had that, but regulations don't allow it. I made sure to point that out to Sandy Monroe, and then I know he was talking about it for his video. And then in the next room was all kind of the future products. So you go from the past to the future, and we got to see the new Roadster, which, you know, will come out one day. It's not something I'm gonna get, so I don't mind too much, but it'll be out eventually. And then the Cybertruck, I just could not stay away from this thing. It was so amazing to see in person. And I will say it was one item that, you know, whenever you see something in person, sometimes pictures just don't do it justice. But I will say, in terms of the Cybertruck, it was kind of what I expected. It wasn't a whole lot bigger than I expected. There was really no surprises. So if you've only seen pictures of it or video of it, you do have a pretty good feel of kind of its presence and its stance. So I was really excited about that. But I love just standing around it. It was so cool just to see it. I don't know, this thing is just wild. And I remember when I first saw it, I 100% thought it was a joke. Elon was going to push it off the stage and roll out the real truck, but I've grown to like it so much, and I'm just so excited to pick up my own in 1 or 2 or 5 years, whenever that happens. Then the Tesla bot was there. I don't know why, for whatever reason, I just was totally not expecting that. Of course, it's pretty much just a mannequin at this point, but it looked very cool, and this one was a lot different from what I expected. It was much smaller than I expected, especially the head was tiny, and that was kind of the creepiest part to me, was the head was so small, it kind of creeped me out. But beyond that, the robot was very small, and if it's something that, you know, you are scared that the robots are going to take over, you're definitely not going to be scared of this one. Almost anybody could take that thing out. It is just kind of so dainty, but at the same time, it's something I'm excited for. I'm extremely skeptical that, you know, this is going to be anything that's really going to be functioning around me in my home or anything like that anytime soon. But just to dream and think that that would be possible, you know, if it is something, I would love to be able to have something like that to kind of help around the house. It just seems so crazy. And then also thinking of the manufacturing and the labor implications. We have all these labor shortages and things. It really could change the world. Again, if Tesla can pull something like that off, it's huge. It's a game changer. Then there was this secondary Cybertruck that was kind of off in the corner, and it was pretty interesting because all the employees were going over there and checking it out and taking pictures of it or pictures with it. So that Cybertruck was special. It was definitely different. That's the one that Elon rode up on stage with, and yeah, we weren't allowed to see that one too closely, so there must be some new secrets in there. I also got to see the Tesla Semi. That was pretty cool. That's another one that wasn't really too surprised by anything about that. I did see the interior pretty well with some pictures. It looks very cool. It seems like it'd be very comfortable. I don't really know much about trucking, but I gotta imagine that if the charging rate is good enough for something like the Semi and you don't have to wait too long, that it could be a life changer to have so much less maintenance, so much less cost in fuel for yourself, because the electricity would theoretically be so much cheaper, especially if you could use solar for any amount of your journey. And truckers have to take breaks anyway. They can only drive so many hours per day. So if you could fit your charging schedule to fit your break schedule, maybe you do some maintenance on the moving parts of the vehicle, or you do your inspections of the vehicle while it's charging, get some food and things like that. It could just kind of be the perfect setup, especially for short haul journeys, and I think eventually long haul too. The vehicle just has to have the correct capacity to make it distances and a fast charging speed so that you don't have to wait too long for it to charge up. I also discovered that the new Model Y center armrest is going to be magnetic, much like the new Model S and Model X. Rather than having a little clip you have to grab and release like every other car, this is much better, less parts, less things to break. It's awesome. The Giga Texas factory is really insane. It's just so huge. It looks so futuristic, and I think a lot of good is going to come out of it. Not that I'm in manufacturing, I don't know all that much about it, but being from Metro Detroit, I've at least seen some videos and pictures of the factories around here, and this just looks totally different. It seems so efficiently set up, and it seems Tesla is ready to take over. So I hope you enjoyed this video and this footage. If you have any questions that maybe I didn't answer with this video, leave them down below. I'd be happy to answer those, and you will see me in the next video.